Hey everyone, Lethco here. I just found out today that one of my favorite sites is going to officially be closing down. I've actually known the news for a couple weeks now. They did make it official today though, so unfortunately this video is to say goodbye to PlayTheNES.com. In the whole goodbye thing, I want to take a look at the website as it is right now and I guess post this memory as you know, what used to be there, or what's still there if you watch this video immediately and go run over there to check it out before Roth and Zen go through the shutdown process. I'd like to take the time to thank both Roth and Anticitizen for taking time out of their lives to run the website. It's the first website that I got into as a retro gamer where I felt at home. And I'd personally really like to thank him for that. So with that said, let's check out the, looks like the final iteration of PlayTheNES.com. But we're going to start off with my feelings on PlayTheNES.com shutting down, which will be quite simply this. Actually, it's not quite good enough. Let's do this instead. Yep, that's accurate. Okay, anyway, let's check out PlayTheNES.com. You'd start off here. If you're logged in, you'd see your avatar with your forum posts, your messages, and the ability to log out. It would have how many forum posts you had right at the top. As of this video, I have 1,375 posts, so yeah, I've been around a little bit. You'd have the Game of the Week here in the corner, with it right now being Snow Brothers, fitting for it being winter right now. Then you'd have the newest content edition. Right now it's One Life to Live, and then all the older content would be down here at the bottom. Here you'd have NES Virus Cleaner, which is where you can download the free ROM, a game made by Roth. The ROM, if Play the NES is down, I've made it available at RetroReviewRevolution.com under the download section. But through here, on this side here, you've got all the previous news entries. On this side here, you've got some linked sites. And finally, at the bottom, we've got the Google AdSense. Latest forum topics. This is usually how I check out the forum. I'll just jump right in through the latest forum topics sub-tab. And then, of course, you have the links in the site where you have the community, NES tips, the NES Funk, 650 tunes, rated PG-18, awesome video games, EOR Power, One Life to Live, the NES Atlas, Zipper Game, NES Theater, Wallpapers, and Random NES. We'll go into Random NES first. Okay, well, this is the stuff that just doesn't fit anywhere else in the website. There's music videos, a paint art gallery, a Where is Karnov, a Mega Man 2 boss run, a Famicom Bad Apple demo, the in-cart shipping experiment that me and NES Johnny did 2 or 3 years back. Some stuff in the Play the NES tournament, just random videos and whatnot is what made this up. Tons of entertaining stuff in here. If you got a slow day going on, I'd all the time come in here to click and check some stuff out. I'll tag out the wallpaper section real quick. Every once in a while I'll toss one of these up on my computer as a wallpaper. But yeah, it's pretty well what the tab says, just a whole bunch of NES themed wallpapers. I really like that Final Fantasy one down there. And that one looks tough. I also like the NES controller one, the Castlevania one. I like a lot of these, to be honest. Okay, we'll go into the NES Theater section. It's a collection of cutscenes of cinemas from various NES games. So more or less what it is, all of the cutscenes that were in the NES games, they'll play them in order to make like a small movie out of it. It's a pretty interesting thing. Next we'll go in Zipper Game, otherwise known as the Zipper Game Challenge. This hasn't really been updated very much, but More or less, it's just two guys making a first impression of some weird NES games. The challenge is to play a game with 10 minutes, dealing with whatever that happens. And they go over some games that, you know, some people hate, that I think are actually kind of good, but I'm weird like that. Just going through some of the episodes. I actually liked Magician. Some of these I haven't played, so I can't comment on. I liked Pet Terminator. I liked Big Nose. But Dino Wars was okay, kind of hard. Let's see. Oh, I love Journey to Silius. That's a classic. Crown Conquest ain't too bad. Fist of the North Star is really fun. Wrath of the Black Man is really fun. Alright, let's look at the next tab here. The next one's called One Life to Live. And more or less this is a series of no-death runs throughout a bunch of video games. And it takes a lot of patience and skill to go through a no-death run, especially in some of the games that they've picked out, like Karnov. A no-death run in Karnov? Yeah, I could never pull that off. Mega Man 2? Once you get the Metal Blade, it's not as hard. It's still kind of difficult, though. But Ninja Gaiden? Power Blade? Silver Surfer? Good God! I know there's some crazy hard games that have been one-lifed in here. Okay, let's check out the EOR Power real quick. This is a name for NES Homebrew. The virus cleaner that I had mentioned earlier is on my site. Roth also did Tic Tac XO and Pegs. Then there's another group, Mimblers Incorporated, which made Hot Seat Harry and Munchie Attack. The best game by far, though, is NES Virus Cleaner. I've had so much fun with that game. Okay, next up is Awesome Video Games. You may know the guys that did Awesome Video Games. They're now doing a series called Video Games Awesome. They run ffstv.com. More or less, they used to do game playthroughs now, but they used to do this little show where you had two guys that were just completely enamored with everything NES, and they went through it like almost, God, what was the name of that show? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, yeah. They remind me of the guys from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It's really funny to watch if you haven't watched the original series. It's still entertaining checking out Video Games Awesome, but you gotta check out the original series. Next, we'll check out Rated PG-18. This is where Psycho Gorilla did all of his writings. He did the NES games that could have been, such as Roadhouse, The Gleaming Cube, Murder, She Wrote. The cool thing, though, is Psycho Gorilla is on RetroReviewRevolution.com, so you may see something from him in the future. If he wants to contact me and do a write-up, an editorial, or a video, more power to him. I'd be proud to host some of his stuff on here. Going to the next link now. We have 650 Tunes. 650 Tunes is basically NES game music in stereo. It's the same thing that the Wes is doing with his, well, I'm not sure whether he's calling it Project Nintendo or In Stereo right now, but he more or less was inspired by 650 Tunes, and as you can see, they've got a ton of music. I've actually downloaded all of these, and I want to talk to Zen. I may throw them all up in the torrents or something, because I would hate to see this die. I'm not sure if he's going to continue it or not, but I guess we will find out in the future, right? Coming up next is the NES Funk. He can now be found also at thepunkeffects.com. His earlier stuff was hosted here on Play the NES, so he actually got his start on Play the NES. I don't think he's mentioned that, but he actually started out and Play the NES doing some pretty decent comedy-style game reviews, and his stuff's always pretty entertaining and whatnot. It's definitely worth a watch. Going back up to the top again, we have NES Tips. This series was hosted by Roth, where he did some really good game tips for a huge number of NES games. Now, the thing I've always loved about NES tips was Roth's more or less always positive outlook on things, and the fact that he never really spoiled the ending of the game. And he always gave great tips to games that were sometimes really difficult, like the original Turtles game, Ninja Gaiden, the Punch-Out one. He actually gave some really good tips to beat Mr. Dream, Mike Tyson, whoever. Karnov, Gradius, Gargoyle's Quest. I mean, he gives some tips for some really difficult games. He actually does a gameplay video for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, showing you actually how to play the game. I had to watch that video just to understand how to play the game. But this video series here is actually what brought me to the site, and I would like to thank Roth for that. And that's how I will always think of Roth too, with that smile on his face, the 2 thumbs up, like, go get a champ. And then finally, for the most important part of the site, the forums. The part that I'm going to miss the most, the forums. It looks like I got one new message sitting in there. But anyway, the forums are split up into many subforums. You'd have the announcements, NES tips, 650 tunes, the punk, rated PG-18, random NES, affiliate contributions, DOR power, the NES Theater, and One Life to Live. More or less covering the entirety of the site. Then you'd have, for the gaming section, the NES Jabber, the Game of the Week, Lesser Gaming, which is more or less games for any other system other than the NES. Then the Barter Market, which is where you could buy and sell stuff. Other interests, you've got the New Freaks, where you could pop in, say hi. You could discuss movies and TV. You could discuss books and literary greatness. And then if it don't go anywhere else, it goes to Purgatory. Unless, of course, you are a member of the Church of Karnov. I, for one, prefer Raul Julia over Karnov, but... But that's it for PlayTheNES.com. Just a quick run-through of an awesome website, my way of saying goodbye, almost. I'm going to miss coming here. I hope everyone that watches my videos and everything takes the time to pop in, check out the content here, and, pay their respects. After you're done checking out Play the NES, hopefully you guys will check out my website, RetroReviewRevolution.com. It's where I actually made it originally a few months back because I was worried that PlayTheNES.com would shut down back then, and I wanted a backup forum for all of us to be able to hang out at, and it's kind of turned into that. I'm, satisfied that a lot of the members in Play the NES have signed up, and, we contribute and talk over on Retro Review Revolution. But it's also grown into its own site in its own way. I mean, a lot of the content, other than Wes's Project N or Project Nintendo or N Stereo, a lot of us are just going kind of like off the cuff whenever we do our videos and whatnot. Wes puts a ton of work into his stuff. With me, I usually just point a camera at it and go. But, that's pretty well it. Just wanted to say thank you to PlayTheNES.com. Thank you to Anticitizen and Roth for running it for so long. It's so wrong. Sound like a typical Chinese guy or something. It's so wrong. But, that's it for this video. Go check out PlayTheNES.com while you still can. See you all next time.